Muy buenas a todos, chicos, chicas, señores, señoras. Bienvenidos a un nuevo vídeo de Genshin Impact. Hoy vamos a jugar a por fin el desierto de Sumeru, ¿vale? Antes de nada, ya que estoy, me gustaría probar a los nuevos personajes que han salido, que es el Cyno y ya que estamos, pues a Candace, la verdad. Ni los he visto, o sea, sé que Cyno, la ulti, es como la de Razor, pero no le he probado para nada. A ver cómo es. Por cierto, están regalando esta mascota, ¿no? Porque es el aniversario. Actualmente es el aniversario de Genshin Impact que están regalando esta mascota. Bueno, ahora mismo no aparece, pero la he visto antes. El ataque elemental es como el de Xiao. A ver la ulti. La ulti está guapísima, tío. La ulti es una pasada, tío. Se parece un poco a la de Razor, pero es que, bueno, igualmente, o sea... y la elemental cambia si tienes la ulti o no. ¿Veis? Con la ulti como que aplasta. Como una especie de Hulk. Oye, ¿cuánto dura la ulti? Ah, vale, ya se acaba esto. Sí, pero en lo que se acaba me da tiempo a recargar otra. A ver, está muy bien, la verdad. ¿Para qué vamos a mentir? Está muy bien. Es muy buen personaje, tío. Ni le he tenido que combinar con nadie. No he necesitado ni a Colei. A ver, quiero ver cómo funciona con Colei. Es decir, yo lanzo esto, que se supone que potencia el electro. Y nada, 15.000 le da... Ah, no. 4.000... Ah, pues está muy bien. Sí, 13.000. 8.000... Ah, está muy bien. Es mejor incluso de lo que yo me pensaba, ¿eh? Yo así no me lo estaba imaginando muy bueno. Sí que es verdad que evidentemente luego cambia mucho si lo pruebas en aquí y luego si lo tienes, ¿eh? Por ejemplo, un Ganju que a la hora de probarlo hacía 15.000 de daño y el mío luego hacía 10.000, ¿sabéis? Sí que verás que luego cambia bastante si lo tienes o no. Pero está muy bien, la verdad. Además que, joder, estéticamente es Jesucristo. O sea, es increíble. Es Buda. Quiero probar también a Candace, ya que estoy. Me lo vais a perdonar, pero después de probarlos, vamos ya con la historia, ¿vale? Intentaré hacer vídeos de 20 minutos, ¿vale? Y en esta ocasión voy a hacerlos con mi voz. Mirad, esta es la mascotita de la que os hablo. Esta mascotita la están regalando actualmente. Entonces, si tenéis pensado jugar Genshin Impact, hacerlo ya, ¿sabéis? Porque si no os lo vais a perder. A ver, yo he oído que es como una especie de Beiru. Bueno, no, le han atacado y no recargaba la energía, ¿no? A ver, daño no hace mucho, porque a ver, es un 4 estrellas, y los 4 estrellas pues... ¿Ves? Pero esta no absorbe el daño, es decir, no es como Beidou, que a Beidou cuanto más daño le hacen, más ataca. A ver la ulti. Ah, y la ulti es como la de Beidou, sí, es como un Beidou hidro. Pero no hace mucho daño, ¿no? Es decir, incluso siendo un personaje actualmente de prueba, ¿no? Que se supone que tendrán que bufearlo. No hace mucho daño. Bueno, no sé. Está bien, sin más. Ah, mire, si no mantienes... si mantienes pulsado es como un escudo, pero si no mantienes pulsado es como una onda de choque, ¿no? En plan... Sí. Bueno. No me gusta. No me gusta. No hace daño, tío. No hace prácticamente daño, tío. Bueno, a ver, la elemental está bien porque empuja, pero... A ver cómo se ataque carga. A ver, si tengo que darle una nota le doy un 4, ¿eh? O sea, ni siquiera la pruebo. A ver, si mantienes pulsado y esperas a... Vale. Si mantienes pulsado y esperas a que cargue, en vez de dar el choque, clava la lanza en el suelo. A ver, no sé por qué os lo estoy explicando si vosotros también lo estáis viendo, supongo. O sea, pero a ver, yo qué sé, ¿sabes? Es mi canal y tengo que hacer algo, ¿sabes? No sé, no me convence, debo decir. No me está pareciendo la divina papaya. Muchos enemigos, ¿no? Me he cansado. Eso estoy tardando mucho en matarlos. Voy a ir combinando con otros personajes porque si no... No sé, a mí no me ha convencido mucho Candace, la verdad. Tenía expectativas en ella y uff. Un poco flojo, ¿eh? Vale, vamos a hablar con Catherine, que nos tiene que dar misiones para entretenernos, se supone. No sé si habéis visto el tráiler del juego, pero bueno.
We meet again, you two. Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today? Commissions, huh? Let me think. Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Poemas.
Wait, say what now?
Sí, tengo que ir a restar poemas.
Please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem. Huh? What kind of commission is that?
Suele pensarlo, me muero de vergüenza. Sea que...
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission.
A ver, me vas a mandar a cantar poemas a niños de 5 años, vamos a ver.
In that case, please go to Port Armos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage. Hey, that's not any better.
No sé, hay una paliza, ¿verdad? No, yo tampoco lo mandaba.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well. Hyman's gotta ask, just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the Adventurers Guild? Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Ojo la pilladita, ¿eh? Tú eres Najida.
Is it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
Se supone que Najida va a salir en la 3.2. Digo, bueno, sí, en la 3.2, sí.
Ah, so it's Najida. Hyman just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head? From when she said, Ad Astra Adasask? So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Subiré festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children. You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Subiré festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday.
Sí, pero...
Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait, could this be an example of the emotion known as pity? No, we aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homiyanis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her. Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning. Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Subiré festival. So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There. Good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
A veces le doy sin querer y pues me salto un pequeño diálogo, pero bueno. Que sí, que nos vamos a ir a otro lugar porque aquí hay demasiada people. Nos vamos a... Bueno, pues a 3 pasos de distancia, porque tampoco he caminado mucho. Sí, la verdad es que nos hemos movido de esta caseta hasta aquí. Es decir, diferencia ninguna. Pero bueno.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts.
¿Qué? ¿Quieres poseer directamente a una figura clave de la academia? ¿Vas a poseer a un estudiante y colocar... que necesitamos a alguien cercano en serio? Pues sí, ¿no?
I've already tried that, but all the key members of the academia, even the core of 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me. Have you already caught the sage's attention? I'm guessing not yet. But distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly.
¿Vas a poseer a un estudiante? Ah, bueno, es lo mismo pero con distintas opciones, ¿no? Me imagino que las 3 son erróneas y punto.
No way, that's too risky. You mean it'd be too easy to get caught? No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing? That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
Y esto también está mal.
We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off and lead to terrible consequences.
Joder, le he dado sin querer, perdón.
Every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
Tengo que cambiar de ratón, tío. Este es como muy sensible.
Are we really out of ideas?
Sí.
Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the beans already. According to a popular theory from the Bahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal. Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously. Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages. You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Al-Haytham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. They probably aren't in cahoots. Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Sataria?
No.
Sataria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilu. I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Sataria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert, and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant. Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries. The name Sataria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
Eso es lo que realmente piensa...
From the sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems.
Tengo ganas de ir al desierto ya, macho.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore.
¿Has visto? No he dado, ¿eh?
Right. We must somehow make her face her
Pero a punto
problems
está.
again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Sataria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Tenemos que esperar a mañana que haga las compras. Reúne información sobre... Vale, le damos a la V y que se lo tira. Ah, vale, tenemos que hablar con la gente a la que suele hacer comprar.
This should be Sataria's favorite fortune-telling spot. So should we ask the fortune teller about Sataria? No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics. Talking style and key characteristics?
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fate?
¿Qué cojones? Tío, mal rollo la niña.
The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding his future. Can we get a fortune reading for him?
Me va a leer el futuro una niña de 5 años.
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Sobre mi vida amorosa.
Love prospects? No
¿Con quién me voy
problem
a
at
casar?
all. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed.
Virgen para toda la vida.
One who is fated to cross your path will appear on... Huh? So many people will fall for
Pero bueno.
you. How could that be? Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
A ver, si es que soy un set symbol. ¿Qué puedo decir? Es que...
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal. As such, there will be no
No me va a cobrar nada por no hacer nada.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
A ver si vamos ya al desierto, que es lo que más interesa de esta actualización.
Is this another one of Sataria's favorite stalls? Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Sumeru City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
So is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
¿A qué tenía que prestar atención de la conversación? Es decir, han dicho, tienes que prestar atención a la conversación. ¿Pero a qué? O sea, ¿a que superes a la pierna? A ver, no creo que sea muy...
This should be our final stop. Sataria is always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia. So she always comes by whenever she's out in the city. Nahida, you've really thought of everything. It's my duty to protect Sumeru's citizens, after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, that's right! I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of talent. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars, and I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the academia after their next round of exams.
What an admirable spirit for learning. Amazing.
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
Vale. Última conversación y dejamos aquí el capítulo.
So, was that everybody? Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for Sataria. What's the point of all the information we've collected? Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're planning to make Sataria face her problems. Sataria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities. I remember that you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormos are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of the Scarlet King.
Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Sataria's soft spot.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the guilt Sataria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
El Rey Desert es el Cyno.
So, how do we set that up?
¿O es otro?
Well, the Scarlet King is long gone, and Sataria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks.
Ah, vale, o sea, el Rey Escarlata es el mismo que el de... vale, pues entonces Cyno no es.
If we simply engaged her under the guise of the Scarlet King's believers, she would definitely be wary of us, and we may not get anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply that they've already converted to the faith of the Scarlet King, and then convey our made-up will of the Scarlet King. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sataria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
Huh? Best of luck?
Ah, que tengo que poseerle
I
yo.
don't know how to possess anyone?
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal, the effect will basically be as if you've possessed them yourself.
Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does he have to do this? Can't you do it yourself?
O sea que... Pero se posee a través de la caza. Yo pensaba que lo de poseer era un poder de Najida.
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Por eso digo yo mismo, mañana continuamos, ¿vale? Yo esto suelo subir un episodio diario, ¿vale? Por ejemplo, la primera parte, ¿no? La 3.0 iba subiendo vídeo por día. Voy a hacer lo mismo, pero actualmente con mi voz. Espero que no os importe. Bueno, es mi canal, o sea que... Pero bueno, actualmente puedo grabar con mi voz, así que, pues eso. Continuamos mañana, un besito y hasta luego. Adiós.